once to the single meeting. Speakers should refrain from naming individuals. Comments or questions posed during public participation will not be debated. As a reminder, this is a meeting of the board in public, not a meeting of the public. The first person for the public speaking is Rosa Moreno.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board member. Good evening, the community. How are you today? I'm here to share with you the good news for the Eastside Public School and for the community. I'm the new Vice President of the American Spanish Portuguese Association, and I want to receive your support to the student can take an advantage of this opportunity. I would like to meet with the superintendent to explain to her about this opportunity, and then she can share with the board member and with the community. Thank you.
Next person is Cristina Moreno.
Good evening, members of the board and the public. Since a certain commissioner chose to use the Board of Education as his pulpit for campaigning and attacking myself and others, I will use this time to address him. First, let me say I, personally, have not called out this commissioner's name or said anything of my ethics complaint or case against him, against his illegally occupying his seat on this board. For him to unleash his vile verbal assault on me at the last meeting was reprehensible. He did all this as Madam President sat there and did nothing, as is her usual response. I ask, is this leadership? Are these the people we want representing our children, making decisions about their education? My ethics complaint against this commissioner is fully warranted. The New Jersey Department of Education's Ethics Commission would have dismissed it initially had they thought it was baseless. Let me make one thing quite clear. None of these board members have a board-issued email, as this commissioner alluded to. We, members of the Elizabeth parents and students here, sent him, Madam President, the superintendent, and all commissioners an email with concerns regarding the Elizabeth Public Schools Facebook page being used as a newspaper and a political soapbox for specific board members. The page should be used for connecting parents and to make us aware of what is happening in our schools. This commissioner used the school letterhead, Facebook page, and Twitter account to disseminate information about his court case. We do not think this appropriate and want to know if Madam President authorized and approved the school letterhead to be used to communicate legal action that is still ongoing. There was never a reply from anyone. This was on May 1st. On May 25th, those of us who were on that email received a reply about our concerns from this commissioner along with his running mate for assembly, Mr. Farina, who, by the way, is also employed by the Board of Ed. This commissioner used his position on the Board of Ed, which gave him access to parent emails, to campaign for votes. It is a violation of the New Jersey school ethics to use the position of board member for advantages or employment, as would have been the case had he won. He has chosen to attack and attempt to intimidate those of us who choose to hold him accountable for his wrongdoings. In his tirade, he also mentioned that we do not offer suggestions on how to fix things. Again, another attempt at hiding the truth. The truth is that I and other members of this group have sent emails with concerns that go unaddressed. I have tried to set up meetings with the superintendent so we can have a meaningful discussion about these concerns and to give feedback as to how they can be addressed. I am turned away or met with a lawyer. Yet this district is always asking for parental participation. The problem is it only allows it on their terms. I have tried every which way I can to get answers to parent concerns. I don't think it should matter who brings the issues to light, but that the issues are addressed. A simple email or a phone call to show that there is at least.
Next person is Maria Lorenz.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Personal attacks and cyberbullying are words that are often misused in this context. Many on this board will use these words as a convenience to mask their hypocrisy. Mr. Montero, you talk about legal fees. Have you any idea how many parents of special needs have to seek advocates or attorneys to fight for a right that the school disregards and violates? How many parents have to seek additional services outside the district because this district wants to do the bare minimum or nothing at all? When you have shown an interest in attending a CPAC meeting, ask Ms. Hugelmeyer, she may or may not be familiar with these issues. If you would do what is morally right and ethical, you wouldn't have to be upset at the legal fees. I'm sure it has cost and will continue to cost you more. I have had 2 knee surgeries. On this last one, I drove myself here. Yes, it wasn't a broken wrist, it was only my driving leg. Nevertheless, my dedication for advocating hasn't stopped me. I don't take a salary either to be here, but it shows my level of dedication despite my health and flooding conditions, I am still here. I don't have to run for board member, but thank you for the idea. I'll take that into consideration in 2016. Speaking of personal attacks, I want to draw your attention to this photo that's pretty grainy. Christina's holding it. I admit, it's a snapshot of a video that was taken. Here is Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Don Gonzalez holding his iPhone, steadily recording or possibly taking pictures of someone in the crowd. Now please draw your attention to a tweet from Rafael Fajardo attached to the bottom. In the picture, he could have been speaking about numerous individuals, including my husband captured in this picture. But wait, if you draw your attention to the back, you can see Rafael Fajardo sitting right between there. Please point to it, Christina, thank you. And he's sitting in the crowd. So here we've learned a few things. Number 1, we pay Don Gonzalez to not pay attention at board meetings because he's too busy taking pictures or filming the audience and he gets paid a 6-figure salary. The photo obviously came from him according to the line of sight in this picture and having been caught red-handed. He then takes the picture and shares it with his friends to post on Twitter and attack parents who attend board meetings. Well, no wonder the room is basically empty all the time. I advise, not just Mr. Montero, but everyone sitting on this board, to stick to the issue at hand, the education of our children. If you cannot limit your action to the policy-making and decisions of our children, but would rather talk about how candidates are not qualified to run, the mayor, the city, your life story, and politics, you will find me rather irritated and filing yet another ethics complaint against you. So you can stick to the issue at hand, the education of our kids. If any of you would like to discuss any personal gripes, you can talk to me and address me. Attempting to embarrass and antagonize me in public is not becoming of a BOE member or appropriate. I've been here for over a year. You know how to get in contact with me. Mr. Kennedy, I will hand you some envelopes so that you can hand them out to the commissioners since we're not allowed to hand them out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Maria de Rossi.
I'm here today because of the last meeting that you had, and I think it's appalling. And you know, Don Gonzalez, you only got what you deserve because the same thing that was given to you, you gave it to the mayor and you gave it to Manny Bova where they put their kids in. I'm not a liar, okay? And I'll bring that newspaper to you. And you want to fight with me? You could step outside, but this is my time right now. Okay? Don't call me a liar.
Ms. Lorenz, you have to address the board.
Okay, I'm sorry, but he started with me. So you tell your gentleman over here.
Nobody uses my daughter for political purposes, right?
I'm not in politics. Now, Tony, you're the one that's always saying that you want to work with everyone. Attacking parents isn't the way to do it. It's not. People come here to express. We're not always going to agree. But you know something? I'm running. And the only reason I'm running is because you made me. Because I'm sick and tired of the politics ruining our kids, our parents, and education. If we concentrated more on those 3 important issues, we wouldn't have problems here. And it hurts. And it hurts. My campaign slogan is we have a crisis from K to 12, and it's called politics. And I hope I'm voted in because I want to stop it. The most important thing is our children, and none of you are taking that into consideration. You wanted to make a war. We're parents. We're not here to make a war. We're not going to agree. But to personally attack parents like that, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. Now, I found out that I'm a great-grandmother. I have 3 great-grandchildren, and one of them had ADHD, Asperger's, and he also has autism, and he also has epilepsy. Now, I came to find out that they're putting him in a regular class. He's not going to be able to function in a regular class because his parents can't even take care of him because they had to give him to me. Now, I just don't know how these are figuring out that special education, we could put kids that have the same problem as my great-grandson in a normal class. This is what a lot of parents are talking about. It's about the special education that we have to fix. We have to come together, not as a problem, but let us come up with a solution. Hear the solution what these parents have. Maybe if we work together, we could accomplish a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lorenz. We are calling for 5-minute recess, please.